It's really pouring today, huh? I caught a really nasty stomach bug. It really kicked my ass. So if I look like a zombie today, forgive me. But more importantly, have you ever heard of the missing 411 phenomenon? This is something that former police officer BradleyDBliss noticed. BradleyDBliss covers disappearances in North America, primarily in national parks. Hell, I'm sure others have noticed it too, but they probably didn't look too deeply into it. Every year, thousands of individuals go missing. Amongst those, some of the circumstances are really weird. The kind of weird that doesn't really make sense. Just imagine, you're with your bro in the woods, cracking open a cold one. Your bro needs to go relieve himself, so he walks off into the woods. You find that he's taking a little while though. All of a sudden, you're swarmed by park rangers. You are the prime suspect for this person's disappearance. You're being questioned by authorities, when in reality, your friend just disappeared into thin air. And you're just as, if not more confused than everyone else. Sometimes they may find your friend, sometimes they may not. And there have been a few cases where they do find him, but where they find him simply makes no sense. 112 miles away on top of a cliffside that is impossible to scale. That sort of thing. So here's one of the strange ones that I read. Dakota James, January 25th, 2017. 23-year-old Dakota James was out bar hopping with his friends, literally cracking open a cold one with the boys. It was getting late though, and he was getting tired. Kinda sounds like me actually. He decided that he'd walk home. CCTV cameras have clear footage of him leaving the bar that night. So he's walking down the street, no stumbling, no staggering. I mean, he's not wasted, clearly. Perhaps a little buzzed from the drinks, but that's about it. He's on his phone, and from what we can see, there is nobody following him. The following day, though, he did not show up for work. I mean, come on guys, this is missing 411. A no-call, no-show was incredibly out of character for Dakota James. I mean, what can I say? He's a good employee. Understandably so, because his employers, of all people, were actually the ones to signal the alarm. They called the police and notified his parents before a massive search party was launched. Where can I get employers like that? It's gotta be a blue-collar job. From this search party, nothing turns up. It's as if he was just gone with the wind, spirited away. That is until 40 days later. His body was found in the Ohio River, 10 miles from where he had last been spotted. Now, hear me out. 10 miles may not sound insane at all. I mean, he was found in a river after all. In 40 days, even 100 miles wouldn't be crazy. But the general theory that people were running with was he probably stopped near the river to take a piss and just fell into the river because he was intoxicated. Is this a reach? Maybe. But I think this is within the realm of possibilities still. At the time, the river water would have been ice cold. It is literally the thick of winter. So he would have struggled for a bit before succumbing to shock or hypothermia. And the rest is history. There are a few problems with this theory though. Firstly, the dam. For him to get from where he was to where he was found, he'd have to make it past a water dam. Now, if a human body were to go through something like this water dam, it is basically guaranteed that you'd be ripped to smithereens. More or less. You can probably guess where I'm going with this. You guessed it. His body was not ripped to pieces. As a matter of fact, his body was actually in kind of great condition. It didn't seem very water damaged at all. Allegedly, he didn't even have water in his lungs. This is despite it being 40 days since he went missing. A toxicology report was done, and the report stated that there was alcohol in his system. This is a given because he was drinking that night, but horrifyingly, he was also found to have GHB inside of him. GHB is essentially a very strong sedative. Despite this information, the case was ultimately ruled as an accidental drowning. So naturally, the family was not pleased about this outcome at all. So they decided to explore other options and chose a interesting route. the family hired a very famous forensic pathologist named Dr. Wecht. Naturally, they were hoping that he could analyze the evidence and see if there was anything that may have been overlooked. Dr. Wecht finds that on Dakota's neck, there were markings that seemed to indicate that there was some sort of rope around Dakota's neck at some point. The former medical examiner swore up and down that it was just dried blood, but Dr. Wecht insisted on it being rope markings. Dr. Wecht also came to the conclusion that there was absolutely no way, based on the body decomposition levels, that Dakota was inside of water for more than just a few days. Which is actually exactly what I was thinking at this point, you know? But hey, I'm no professional. I'm just a guy reading spooky stuff. Dr. Wecht believes that Dakota was already dead or unconscious when he was then placed into the water. Which naturally means that if we believe in Dr. Wecht, which we do, I mean, I know I do, where the hell did Dakota go? At what point was he kidnapped and drugged? Why is the police department finalizing this as an accidental drowning? Especially considering he didn't actually drown. So my theory on how Dakota was actually kidnapped was walking home by himself. I guess, you know, typically as a guy, that's like fine to do. But guys are often victims of these sort of crimes, you could say. I feel like whoever kidnapped Dakota, it could have been for a myriad of reasons. But what I can say with certainty is that this person was probably prepared. They literally drugged him and also had rope around his neck at some point. As for why they dumped him several weeks later, where they did, I would like to believe that they did this completely unaware of the dam between the two locations, which means this person's probably not a professional or by any means. I feel like that's something that would be observed if it was a professional kidnapping. They did so with the intent to make it seem as though that's just sort of where Dakota washed up, except, you know, the forensic analysis shows that there was no water in his lungs and that there was GHB found within his blood. I guess they got away with it this time. And I mean, let this be a reminder, even as a man, you gotta be safe out there, you know, you gotta take care of yourself. You cannot be on the streets at night intoxicated and just expect to be totally safe. This is 2026, it's not likely. That being said, thank you guys for watching, and remember, I am always chasing the truth.